I almost got it. Hello viewers, today I want to talk about little bit about the servicing of this BMW F10 and especially what you're going to go through when you decide to do, let's say, a full service on your car. So when I'm talking about a full service, let me show you what I mean. You're going to want to change, of course, your engine oil plus all the filters. After that, we're going to continue with the gearbox oil change plus, of course, the oil pan, which includes the gearbox filter. And after that, we're going to continue with the transfer box oil. I'm going to talk about a little bit more about why we have removed it. After that, you're going to want to continue with the front differential, and in the end, no, sorry, it's not the end, but not lastly, the rear differential, which is right here, and lastly, the brake oil. So let's talk about a little bit that. This is all the oils which we're going to use in servicing this car. Actually, I have put most of them already, but I decided to show you what oils we are using for servicing this car. So I'm going to start firstly with the original BMW brake oil, which is .4. So this is the original brake oil of this car. After that, we're going to continue with the rear differential oil, and this is what is exactly the oil. Hypoid XL oil 75W85. Actually, guys, this oil is really expensive. I believe the right price for this 0.5 liter bottle is exactly 50 euro. So for servicing the rear differential, you're going to need to pay around 100 euro for 1 liter of oil. The same comes for the front differential, which is using this kind of oil, which is Hypoid Oxo oil G2, and the rear is G1. Which once again you're going to need 2 bottles, because the front differential was getting around 600 milliliters and the rear one was around, I believe it was around 800 milliliters. As for the rear differential, the oil for the front differential is once again really expensive. 1 bottle of this is once again 50 euro, so you're going to need 2 bottles, which means for the front differential you're going to need 100 euro of oil. So we're going to continue with this. This is the transfer box oil. The transfer box was getting, I need to check, but I believe it was around 800 milliliters. So 1 bottle is going to be enough. This is much more cheaper. For 1 liter you're going to pay around, I believe it was around 45 or 50 euro, which means this is half the price. After that, of course, we're going to continue with the gearbox oil, which is ZF8. So when we are servicing BMWs gearboxes, especially 90% of the time we are using these kits of ZF, which are coming with everything included, with the bolts, the oil pan, with the torque specs, everything included. This is actually the original oil pan which the car came out from the factory, and actually let me show you what sticker it has on the side. Warning, lifetime oil, which means that you should not change this oil, never. But believe me guys, this is not true. Actually, ZF, which are making these gearboxes, are claiming differently. They are claiming these gearboxes should be serviced at around 50,000 miles, which is roughly 80,000 kilometers. In my opinion, it depends on the drive style. If it was my car, I was going to service it a little bit more frequent, but 80,000 kilometers is a good service interval. This is the interesting fact. The factory which is producing the gearboxes are claiming that these gearboxes should be serviced at that mileage, and BMW is claiming that they should not be serviced never. So what do you guys think? Is BMW right or ZF? And for the people which have serviced gearboxes like this, they're going to see how bad the oil gets after around between 100 and 150,000 kilometers. The oil gets really dark. So for sure these gearboxes need servicing if you want to keep them in a good condition. So I don't know why BMW, Mercedes and Audi are claiming that these gearboxes should not be serviced ever. Probably every one of us know that they are just want to sell their gearboxes after that. The servicing procedure of this ZF 8 gearboxes are pretty much the same as ZF6. It's pretty much the same procedure. I'm not going to film this. Let's talk about a little bit about the engine oil. So this is the engine oils which we are using when we are servicing newer type of BMWs like this one. This is N55 engine, and this is the oil which we are using when the client can afford it. So this is the MOTUL BMW LL04, long life 04. So this is the premium line of MOTUL for BMW engines. It's much more expensive actually from the original oil which BMW are selling. And actually, I don't know why, but BMW for sure have reduced the quality of their engine oils. I don't know what is happening there, but I have seen a lot of engine failures with the new original oil. Not sure what's happening there, but for sure, if the car was mine, I was never going to put the original oil in the engine. So that's why we are recommending this oil to our customers which have newer type of engines like this one. Once again, this is with N55 engine. So that's why we are putting this oil there. And other than that, everything else are original one, because I have never heard issues with these oils on the differentials, on the transfer case. And yeah, for ZF, this is not original BMW oil. This is not bought or made from BMW. I believe it should be the best quality you can buy for this gearbox. So in my opinion, this is the best service pack you can buy for this car. Once again, ZF gearbox oil, original differential oil plus transfer case and brake system, and MOTUL specific for BMW engines oil. So I believe this is the best setup. Okay, so just want to say a few more words about something that I really don't like that BMW started to do in the newer cars. So as you can see, this is the front differential right here, and to service this differential is pretty easy. Let's say we have a drain plug here and the fuel plug, which is, let me see where it was. Yeah, the fuel plug is right there. So pretty much we have access to these plugs. On the fuel plug it's a little bit tighter, but it's not impossible to get to it. About the gearbox, yeah, the engine is once again pretty simple. Actually, on the dust cover or this aluminum shield, the oil drain plug is right here. So it's pretty accessible. It's pretty easy to drain the engine oil. But if we continue along, yeah, the few words about the gearbox. Once again, the same servicing procedure as on the older generations, E60, E39, not big of a deal. You're just going to need to warm up your oil and see the level through this port here when I'm right here. So pretty simple to do. But now comes the hard part. Let's go along to the rear differential. So this is the rear differential, the newer type of rear differentials which BMW have. And as you can see, here is the fuel plug right here. Pretty accessible, right? Yeah, no issue at all. But if we go through the whole body of the rear differential, we are not going to be able to find anywhere a drain plug on this differential. Anywhere, believe me guys, I have checked it. We don't have anywhere a drain plug, and actually this is not the first car that I see on BMW that are having this type of differential. BMW have decided that they don't need a drain plug on their differential. So the easiest thing you're going to be able to do is to remove this fuel plug and put some kind of vacuum pump there, and with some angle like this try to aim it to the lowest point of the differential, which should be somewhere here. And pretty much you're going to drain around 750 milliliters from this differential, which is around 90% of the whole oil, because once again this differential should be capable of taking around 800 milliliters of oil. So it's pretty good. I think 50 milliliters is not the end of the day, because if you want to remove the whole differential, so to drain almost all, it's not so easy guys. You're going to need to disassemble most of the suspension, so to be able to take it out. So yeah, for 50 milliliters I believe this is the best method with a vacuum pump. But the hardest thing of everything when you're servicing your car is no doubt the transfer case box, because you're going to need to remove the whole box so to be able to drain your oil. Because the method which I talked about on the rear differential is not going to be applicable here. It's going to be almost impossible to take so much oil from this transfer box. The fuel plug on the transfer box is right here. Let me move it. Give me a second, guys. It's a little bit hard with one hand. It's right here, right to the control module, right there. So if you want to do the procedure which I showed you with the vacuum pump, you are not going to get the most of the oil out. It's not going to be like on the differential. So the best method which this BMW is recommending is to remove the transfer box. And now I'm going to show you what is the exact method which BMW recommends when you're changing your oil on the transfer box. Okay, let's see, am I going to fail badly on this? Probably you guys you are not seeing what I'm doing. I'm draining the oil through the air breather of the transfer case. So this is the procedure which BMW exactly are recommending for this procedure. To take the transfer box out and to drain the oil through the breather. I am really disappointed of this fact, because there are still some transfer cases which have a drain plug on them on the bottom, which is much more simple than this method. And what to say, guys, most of the people are actually not servicing their cars, which I'm talking about the engine oil, and what to talk about the transfer cases and the differentials. So probably this is going to be really rare to do something like this. Most of the people are not going to do it. They're just buying a car that can't afford, and after that are complaining how unreliable are those cars. So just to show you once again, this is from where you're going to want to drain your transfer box oil, which is really bizarre. So just going to show you what is the idea. Hopefully you guys are seeing how the oil is escaping through the breather holes. This transfer box is kind of heavy, so probably going to need to figure out something to hold it. Almost got it. Okay, so I decided to film much more sufficient way than draining the oil from here, which is of course from the oil fuel plug, which is right here. And this transfer case box is from this F32. So I'm going to remove the fuel plug and going to show you how much more faster it is to drain it from here. Still, it's not easy, but it's much more faster than draining it from here. Okay, let's remove the fuel plug. So now is the toughest part. I need to hold the transfer case box, and I'm going to need to rotate it several times, but once again, believe me or not, this is much more faster way than the method which BMW recommends. It's pretty black. So you're going to need to rotate it several times so to be able to remove the whole oil, but once again, it's much more efficient that way. And it only gets 440 milliliters. So okay guys, I'm going to end up the video here. I just wanted to show you the bizarre thing that BMW started to do with the servicing of these cars. This is something small, guys. I'm not saying that it's the end of the world. It's not something big, because probably we're going to do this only once. I'm going to end up the video here, guys. Just want to share what oils is the best you can buy for these cars when you are doing this service on every 80,000 kilometers. So, okay guys, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.